Hello everybody, we are back with the deep dive into negative rarity breakpoints. A few things to talk about before we get into this. As far as how exceptional drops work, the game determines the rarity of an item first, the sockets and the quality second. So if something drops as magic or rare, it cannot be exceptional. So that's why with far negative rarity or even zero rarity, you get more normal exceptionals. With high rarity, you get more unique exceptionals. As far as skill gems, that is a weird one that took us a few to figure out, but what we are pretty certain it is, the game is down tiering lineage gems to level 20 gems. That's why you get so many. For instance, in a single temple, we will get 4 to 10 level 20 spirit gems and a crazy amount of skill gems. As far as how the rarity system works, there's basically a baseline 100% player rarity. Now, there are a few formulas that were presented, one by Julian and another by a viewer in the comments. We'll have them on the screen right now. But effectively, they're the same thing. It basically means that if you're negative 100, you're at 0. If you're at negative 90, you're positive 10. If you're above that, the map and the temple rarity is going to send you further negative. Now, past negative 100 rarity, there's not much notice. There's not much difference there. In the first league, I was at 163 negative. I've been doing this every league. That character now is at negative 272. This is incorrect, which will be explained. And there's almost no difference between, 106 and 272. So that's the point of extreme diminishing returns. It's not to say there's no difference, but there's almost no difference. And so we're going to go ahead and get into the first temple run. So this is Jalapeno's temple. It is a zero rarity build. It's not even that sweaty of a build. We do have a temple planner for a very sweaty zero rarity build, but this one's really not that bad. And the results were pretty much the same as Kyle's temple, which is the 1400 rarity temple. So let's get into that. All right, this is zero rarity. Zero rarity. So even at zero rarity, it's mostly magic. Some rares, not a lot of bases, but there are still bases. Checking multiple rooms. It's a few bases per room at zero rarity, so you still get bases at 0. And it's not about the number of drops as far as this test. It is about the percentage of magics and rares. So this is negative 50 rarity. As you can see, there's a fair bit more bases at negative 50. Getting a good bit of exceptionals. So we're getting almost no rares. There's a little bit. It's mostly magics and normals, but noticeably more bases at negative 50 than 0. But again, even at 0, you're still going to get a lot of bases. At 50, you still get currency. So this is 76 negative here. And as you can see, it is a noticeable amount more bases. Again, quite a bit of bases. 76 is a lot more bases. We're getting quite a bit less magics and rares and a lot more bases. So the further negative you are, the more bases you're going to get. And this is the temple bases filter right now. And yeah, a lot higher percentage of white there. And this is 91. It doesn't look so different from the last rooms in the number of bases, but it will be less magics when I hit the button here. As you can see, there are less magic now than there was in the last room. And yeah, higher percentage of bases than magics at this point. And this is negative 100, which is the same as 0. And you multiply temple or map rarity with 0, the resulting number is 0. So let's see if we can do this without crashing. And there we go. Even higher percentage of whites than previously. Somehow didn't crash. Yeah, it's a lot of bases. This is already about the bases that we get in the max rarity temples, so both options are good. The benefit of a max rarity temple is, of course, that you can run it for positive or negative rarity. But if you can't get past negative 100, this will definitely do. Let's take a look at it. So yeah, less and less magics every time. And this is 106 negative. I have loot from the previous room on right now.
This medallion's rather beautiful.
Are we crashing this time? Nope. And there we go, 106. There's almost no magics. And there we go. That's at max negative rarity. 106 is the highest you can hit. Anything that reads higher than that is just POB and PoE Ninja reading it incorrectly because they calculate the implicit and explicit separately. But as you can see, it is almost entirely bases. So you'll notice gains at every rarity breakpoint. And you would notice more at 60. Notice more at 60 than you would at 7 or than 50 and so forth. It just keeps scaling. As you can see, pretty distinct differences between the different rarities. And yeah, we're gonna get right into Kyle's temple. Here's Kyle's temple. It's the same temple we ran in the previous video, but we'll get right into that. So at negative 94, as you can see, even a negative 94 in a 1400 rarity temple, it is mostly magics and rares, because at negative 94 we are actually positive 6, since players have a baseline 100 rarity. So I'm 6 positive, and the 1402 is sending us further positive. All right, this is 97 negative. And as you can see, we are still not getting bases. Do another room at this. So 97 negative in a 1400 rarity temple. You do not get bases. You might occasionally get an extremely rare base, but it's going to be rare. And this is 98 negative. So at 98 we start getting some bases, but it's still less bases than 0 rarity in a 0 rarity temple. Show you guys. As you can see, it's still mostly magic and rare. Yeah, mostly rares. I needed to make this filter without the fucking gold on, but didn't happen. And this is at negative 99. At this point we start getting a bit more bases. Still, it's probably pretty close to 0 rarity in a 0 rarity temple though. We can see here quite a bit more bases, less magics. Yeah, fair bit of bases there. Alright, we are now at negative 100, which is the same as 0. Negative 100 is actually 0 since players have 100 baseline rarity. And anything multiplied by 0 is 0, so we're effectively at 0 rarity now, and you can see there is a lot of bases, mostly bases. And this is at 101 negative, which should still be pretty similar to 100. That is the point of significant diminishing returns. Those were line of sight blocked. We would not be dropping divines if they were not line of sighted. Presence area is finicky. So this is 103. It should be pretty much the same as 101. It would probably be more noticeable if we didn't have as much temple rarity, but we're already sent pretty far negative. And this is 106, which is max negative. So it's gonna be about the same percentage. And yeah, hopefully that answers a lot of questions and gives a lot of examples. I'm sure there's things we didn't cover, but hopefully we answered a lot of the questions and showed a lot of the breakpoints and gave you guys some more options on how you farm negative rarity. Now, there is a lot of ways to farm negative rarity in maps. That is all included in this guide here. This guide is updated regularly. The link will be in the description in the comments. And if I forgot anything or you have any questions, you're more than welcome to come by the stream and ask me. I'm glad to help. Thanks for watching.